was right. I'd like to come from 7 a.m. to 11. I'd usually start with some warm-up scales or sight reading, and then I'll go through my pieces. I'll go home and then come back at 2 and finish at 5. Same thing, I'd start off with some scales, then run through my pieces, making sure that I know them, making sure that everything is good. Yeah. Let me just open to this one. I'd say I have a very favorite time period for music, and that's romantic music. Romantic music is my favorite by far because I can be very emotional and it encapsulates my feelings. My favorite composer is Rachmaninoff. I did a lot of analysis on the pieces that I want to play so that I could get what the composer put into it, the emotion that they really wanted you to take out of it. And I feel like that's a lot of the emotion behind what I play, instead of me just playing random. I got into music all the way up into grade 7. I was in the choir, I did solos, I really loved singing. And then I got accepted into Drakensberg Boys Choir School, where my love for music grew even more. But when I was there, I met 2 amazing pianists, classical pianists. I wanted to learn to do what they did because they were really amazing. I would sit down and be brought to tears by the stuff that they would play, and I was like, I want to be able to do the same thing. So I started taking lessons with them in my Form 1 year. And it started to snowball, and I just started to love it and love it. If you were to look for me, you were to look for me in the piano room, nowhere else. It was my favorite place in the world. I feel like my progression there was quite amazing, but due to lack of funds, I was displaced and I had to come back to Zim, which isn't really a problem, but I feel like my progress was stunted a bit because my teacher there was my dream teacher, if I could say. Not to say that I don't like the academy's teachers, I just loved that teacher with all my heart and soul. He knew me in and out, and he knew all my flaws, all my issues, and what I needed to work on. And my dream is to be able to go back. I want to go to Cape Town and have lessons with one of the best piano teachers in the country. So that's my struggle that I'm still trying to overcome. And one that I did overcome was I lost love for piano in Form 2 because I tried to play things that were way out of my reach, and it made me feel like I wasn't good at the instrument. But my piano teacher helped me see the bigger picture. She helped me slow down, and I fell back in love with it when I was doing things that were my level or something that I could comprehend. So that's a struggle that I've overcome.
So you're saying, like, what do you like about this library?
It has every piece that I've ever had to look for. Like, I've never come here and not been able to find a piece of music. So I really love it. It's very expansive. I've loved my experience here. The staff are amazing, they're kind, and they're so supportive of what I want to become. Especially Mrs. Nyoni and Mr. Boulevard. Mrs. Nyoni is the reason that I'm having this performance. She's the one who suggested it after hearing my pieces. She's an amazing musician, so she really helps me with the more musical side of my pieces, which I feel like I was neglecting before I came here. She tells me I need to make some of my verses sing a bit more to make them sound a bit better, and her advice has really shaped a lot of the pieces that I'm playing now. And Mr. Boulevard has helped me reach a large audience, which I feel like I wouldn't have been able to do if I was where I was last year. I wouldn't have been able to have a solo performance. I'm just really grateful that I was here because it's really helped me grow as a musician.
All right, so when people come to your show on Thursday next week, what are you going to put into your music that you also want them to be like, yo, man, that boy brought me to tears, or it was such a bop, man. I've never enjoyed classical music like that. Like,
I feel like classical music is very underrated, and I really want to bring light to the scene. I want to bring some people to tears with some of my pieces. I want them to be awestruck. I want them to love the performance and see classical music in a new light, unlike they have before. So I feel like that's my goal for this upcoming concert.